Hi, we're first responders.
My name is Annie. I was a CS major student in GSU, and my task for this assignment is working on the architectural modeling, including measuring class diagram coupling and cohesion, and choosing a design pattern for our system. This assignment helps me understanding coupling and cohesion a lot. We aim to develop a system with high cohesion and low coupling. Also, the architecture model provides me an idea about choosing the closest design pattern for our system because our system has different incompatible interfaces in different parts of our code. The adapter pattern will be the best for our system. Another big thing that I learned in this assignment is teamwork. Thanks to my teammate, I finally built in the environment for the Angel Studio successfully. I will apply what I learned about Angel Studio to future class like mobile app development.
Hey, my name is Manan Trivedi. My primary task for this assignment is to implement the front end using Android Studio and the back end using Google Firebase. My primary task, implementation task in this assignment was to set up and connect the front end to the Firebase using database reference objects. I have learned and gotten familiar with permissions on mobile devices, like what permissions you need to run different kind of apps and how to get them. And in addition, how to create and use database reference objects. I believe that I'll be able to use this experience in the job industry while working with databases and running queries to receive and transfer data from one end to another. For me, the most challenging part for this assignment was creating and the use of database using database objects as they gave me constant errors and warnings.
I'm Brandon, and my main task was to refine the front end and back end implementation of the app. And that required me to learn a lot about user interface. For instance, when to use fragments versus activities, and what that even means, fragment versus activity. And on the back end, using the built-in Android Studio Firebase sort of thing to make it a whole lot easier. But even with that, still very difficult. On top of all of that, there's always the teamwork aspect that I'll carry on with me into the professional world. Just everybody has their own vision on how things should be, so sometimes you just gotta let yours take a back seat, let some other people take over, and there's the give and take. And that's what I got from this part of the project.
This is Emmanuel, and I'm a team coordinator for Assignment 5. My task was pretty much the same as the last time, which was to create a simple location finder that send users current location to the EMS. I made a few changes in design, and I added one quick event which allows the EMS to retrieve the data from an Android device once the user click the screen. I use Google Firebase as my database, and it provides features like real-time database. And also Google API is also provided to the application management, which allows application data to be synchronized across the client and store data on Firebase Cloud. What I learned from this assignment was, doing multitasking actually make you less productive. I had to finish up like 4 or 5 different assignments at the same time, and so I was letting my team manager doing whatever task they had to finish, but I feel like that's not how team coordinators should cooperate with the team. You have to communicate with them or engage with them about progress or see how they're doing. So I feel like I should have done better, but that's one of the things I learned from this assignment and project.
My name is Shakorian Porter, and my job for this project was to do testing. So for all of the tests, the environments was the same. You had it on a Windows laptop, all through Android Studio, and we used JUnit. through each of our tests. So my first one is message received test, and this is very important because when we press the button, we need to make sure that the message is received to or given out to the other contacts, like emergency contact, police, and stuff like that. The next test would be the video record test. This is important because once you press the button, the video should automatically start recording the contact, and yeah, that's the video recording one. As for the next test, we have to make sure the data is stored, and this is important so that we can retrieve the data so that the police and whoever needs access to that data can see it. The rest of the tests were just to see what type of variable. For example, the name, we need to make sure that is a type string, and it applies to the emergency contacts, the number, like phone number, and it also applies to emails and all the personal data that the user will store in the app. The inputs for the message received would be just to make a sent message, and then once the message you send it just has to make sure it is received on the other end of the project. As for the looking for the variables and their types and such, you have to make sure that you just put whatever the variable is. For example, if it's a name, just put Ashley as an input, and then the output should be just Ashley. It's just like to check if it's a string or not. Things that I've learned from this assignment, I learned how to do testing through Android Studio using JUnit, and I've also learned how to do more research on how to make these tests more efficient and work better, and how to find out what to look for. How can I apply this to my next assignment? I mean, my future job, specifically for the videos, I will be less nervous, learning how to present, and also trying to get my points together when I'm talking. Another thing that I can apply to my academics is just to always be up to date on what you're doing and learn how to communicate more, because it is very important to be doing that. Most challenging thing that I've had to deal with during this assignment was trying to understand what I exactly needed to test through just knowing what our app is. And as long as you know what you are trying to accomplish, testing is made more easier, because obviously this is a safety critical system, and you want to make sure that you are testing the things that make it safety critical. And this is First Responder, and we conclude.